What does it mean to love others? To really love others means that you see them as separate entities in their own right and appreciate them for who they are. I know this sounds really basic, but a lot of times in life, we come from a place of need and we think of people as extensions of ourselves. I don't have insight into other people's heads, so I can't say that definitively, but I sense or believe that that is a common way of being, that too often we think of people as being extensions of ourselves. So I'm not saying that everything in life is unconditional love, because, we do have needs, and, when you pay someone for a job, you expect them to do the job. And if you're the employee, you expect your employer to pay you a fair wage. So I'm not saying we shouldn't have expectations in life. I'm just saying that love is different than use. Like when you want to use someone, and there's good types of use and there's bad use. Like when you go into a supermarket, you use them for food, but that's a productive use, and you pay them the money. So I'm not saying all use is bad, but when you use someone in the more negative context, it's basically you don't respect their autonomy. You don't see them as a separate entity, with their own needs and goals. And I think that a lot of times, especially when it comes to parenting and stuff, a lot of times we want to guide children, if there are our own children, into things that we think will be helpful and away from things that will be harmful. And that's all well and good. But we have to remember that, we can be a guide, but we can't be the final source. The most effective thing you could do for a child is to help them, learn to make their own good decisions and to learn from decisions maybe that are not as good. We all have trial and error in life, and, some things can't be recovered from, but most things can. And we have to learn how to, not fear making mistakes, especially, non-catastrophic mistakes, and how to learn from them. So they say the most valuable skill or trait that you could give to a child is, self-confidence, because if they have self-confidence, they'll be willing to try things, and they'll be willing to, bounce back from their setbacks. In terms of love relationships, with spouses and things of that nature, the most successful marriages, they support each other and they see the good in each other. It's so easy in life, because of the stresses of life, to be short and to be critical or judgmental, or think that a person's not doing what you want them to do. But this might sound overly spiritual, but in this life, we're not really here to please other people. We're here to, unwind and unwrap and develop our own potentialities. And, some people come into our life for a lifetime. Some people come into our life for a shorter period. And we're just supposed to get the best out of people in a respectful way, while they're in our life. And I want to say something about salesmanship and something about productivity and something about harmony. All three are kind of related, because when you appreciate someone, that doesn't mean like a false appreciation, because a lot of people are just like people pleasers, and they use, a false sense of appreciation to try to control and manipulate other people. But people are sophisticated. You can tell if someone really appreciates you, or if they're just, kind of pretending to appreciate you to manipulate you. But genuine appreciation kind of moves hearts and minds, because, in this world that we live in where, Democrats hate Republicans, Republicans hate Democrats, and never the two shall meet. Politics is just one example. It's hard to find commonality. It's hard to find, respect for people that are differences and to value differences. Maybe if getting back to parenting, maybe if a parent is more, technical, their child is more artistic, it's hard to sometimes appreciate that. But if you really get into the heart and mind and soul of a person, and just really see them for who they are and appreciate them, then you can unwrap marvelous gifts in other people. And that's basically the same kind of gifts that you can give to yourself. Like Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks a lot about self-awareness, but self-awareness is really linked, and I'm sure he realizes this, to self-love, because if you don't love yourself, you can't really be aware of what you're all about, because you'll be rejecting different parts of yourself. And if you reject different parts of yourself, you won't be aware of it. So self-awareness is critical to being successful in life, and, valuing yourself and accepting yourself for, all the blemishes and things that other people might think you have is very important.